Hey everybody, welcome once again to our Low One Health Rambling, where I go over what I've been doing recently. Today's October 24th, 2011. I just want to say, yay! I got a haircut. You probably can't really notice it because it's mainly just kind of shaved underneath here. Like, I'm still trying to keep the length because I'm going to try to grow out my hair again, like down to my shoulders, which hopefully I can get away with. But, yay, it's just cool. I just got a cut today, so when I go like this, it feels really, really cool because it's all loose in the back. But that's neither here nor there. I got a bunch of stuff to cover, so let's go ahead and start right at the top, which is going to be I did some pumpkin carving. Last year I did some pumpkin carving with my mom. I'll probably link up the video somewhere on YouTube so you guys can click on it. Last year's rambling, where I did pumpkin carving with my mom. This year I did pumpkin carving with my grandmother. So this is the pumpkin that we picked out, and I did this, of course, at my grandmother's because I have no room to do it here in the trailer, which you can kind of almost see all the way to the back, in which case there's like nothing back there. Moving on here, of course I took a bunch of like 3D pictures, so I'll do the same thing I did with the last video. This is me cutting the pumpkin. I'm very kind of nervous when I use like big knives when I cut stuff. I'm always afraid when I cut myself, which is ironic because I've been a dishwasher for almost all my life. That was my main occupation back in the day, and I used to always deal with knives, but nonetheless, moving on here. This is me gutting it out, so yes, I am kind of getting dirty. I'm actually doing work there. This is kind of course, the inside of the pumpkin. Later on, there'll be a 3D picture of this. All this stuff on the 3DS looks amazing. It's really cool just to kind of see the depth of it. Hey, kitty. How you doing? You okay? Okay, Rufus is gonna get my lap. Wasn't doing this. Moving on here. This is with it emptied out. This is my grandma showing that she didn't do this. This is all me. So yes, it's the grandkid doing all the work, which is awesome because it's something I haven't done. It took a lot of time to actually gut that thing out too. Something I don't remember doing. And this time around, because I mentioned before I'm very pensive using knives, I decided to use my drill. To drill in the face and everything on the pumpkin. So that's me using the drill, of course. Of course, we also cook the pumpkin seeds. I'm a big, I love my pumpkin seeds, and every single time we do pumpkins, I do that. So, of course, we did this at my grandmother's, because I don't have an oven here. I took it out so I can make room for this chair. Those are the pumpkin seeds. That's the pumpkin recipe that we had difficulty finding. Hey, look, it's Rufus's tail. But that's the pumpkin seed recipe. And then there's the pumpkin itself lit up. That's you can kind of see all the holes that I drilled into it. That's kind of makes the outline there. It's kind of something different. I liked it. Of course, this is me taking a picture of me and my grandma at her place with the pumpkin. Yay! Those 2 bags of stuff you see there, those are extra decorations that my grandma got from friends and whatnot, because I was trying to furnish the house for the party, the Halloween party that's coming up. So she got me a bunch of decorations. And, of course, here's a bunch of the 3D pictures, all kind of 3D animated GIF style. There's sense inside the pumpkin. I did the frame rate way too much on that one. And then, of course, there's us standing there. Very fun, basically doing pumpkin carving with my grandmother. Moving on here, I've watched a bunch recently. Granted, not that much time has gone by, but I watched The Girl Who Kicked the Hornets Nest, which is the third in the Girls with the Dragon Tattoo movies, in which case, just as good as the other one, really kind of ends the series well. I enjoy the trilogy and really recommend it to people to watch this original version as opposed to the American version that they're coming out with. You know, people have been talking about it. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm going to go ahead and watch this one. They're all on Netflix, so you have no excuse. Moving on here, another movie I watched recently, which kind of got some news from one of my reviewers that I watch, Attack the Block. This is kind of like a BBC London-ish kind of movie where basically aliens come in a little like kind of gremlin-ish aliens. I probably want to say come and invade and kind of attack this little like block in West London, I believe. In which case it follows kind of these bunch of like delinquent kids and whatnot. It's a good little film, kind of more gory than I thought of. I mean, if you're used to kind of the BBC Doctor Who stuff, this is more kind of a high tier, almost Doctor Who-ish kind of thing. And producers Shaun of the Dead, Nick Frost is in it, so you kind of know has a decent pedigree. It's a good little movie. It's kind of almost like a more edgier Goonies movie. Kind of has that type of vibe to it. I don't know if that really makes much sense, but that's how I like to say it. Moving on here, another movie I watched recently was Bunraku. Bunraku? This was a very interesting movie because I'd never heard of it before, and basically this came up. I forgot. I don't even remember how it just got referred to me. This is something like usually my friend John would recommend to me, and I would watch it. But just a really good, super stylized movie. Almost kind of, if anything, it's gonna remind you of Afro Samurai, or that whole just kind of a dystopian future. There are no guns, so swords and everything kind of complain. You have like the top 7 killers and blah 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 blah. It's a good film. It's really kind of artistic, and I really recommend it to people if you have a high-def set or whatnot to watch it. It's just amazing. Has a good set of actors, too. I just don't want to go running through them, but it's a good movie. After watching this movie, it reminded me a lot of another movie. It's a Western John Joe's movie, which this came out a while ago. Let's go fast forward here. This is a Quentin Tarantino kind of production-ish type of thing, where basically I believe it's all Chinese actors or Japanese actors. Japan. Where they basically all speak English, so it's really cool to kind of hear the English. But the whole movie is basically like that, and it's kind of like a spaghetti western. That's what kind of Bunraku reminded me of too, of a spaghetti western. In which case, this is also a spaghetti western, kind of just dealing with people fighting over treasure in a town. You have the whites, the reds. And, really kind of almost remind me of The Last Man Standing, that Bruce Willis film back in the day. So if you haven't seen this movie, it's a good movie too. Just basically the Bunraku movie reminded me of this movie. Moving on here, other things Japan. I finished watching Clannad, which is an anime series that my friend Mike had referred to me, which I couldn't really figure out for a while why he referred it to me. But as I watched it once, do we have the character montage here? Is it all just... Okay, here we go. As he would kind of a big cast of characters, but it deals with a lot of that lost existence kind of theme I like. Not being forgotten, not dying, and just not being there anymore, but having your existence not exist. It's something I've kind of attached to recently, and this is like that. The Anahara is like that. Other good themes is Roxas. Probably most mainstream kind of people probably maybe kind of know that theory that I've attached to is from the Donnie Darko movie. That's kind of almost what introduced me to that whole lost existence theme. Also, Persona 3 has it. But this movie, this anime series has like two really solid like lost existence, lost memories type of arcs. But it's a good series. I'll probably be watching Clannad after story. I am currently going to try to get through Steingate, but it took me probably almost a month or so, 2 months to get through Clannad. But a good series nonetheless. I can't recommend it to everybody, but I enjoyed it. Moving on here, we're going to talk about some music. The Muppets recently released the Green Album, which is a bunch of kind of contemporary artists doing different classic Muppet songs. This is OK Go doing, of course, the opening Muppets theme, which the video's up, it's cool and everything. But what maybe I downloaded this album, and it's a good album overall. Weezer and Hanley Williams does Rainbow Connection. Forgot, there's a bunch of other good songs, but the one I like the most is actually this cover of Halfway Down the Stairs by Amy Williams, who is, of course, from Evanescence. But this rendition of Halfway Down the Stairs was originally done by the Kermit the Frog's little kind of a cousin or a nephew, Robin the Frog, on the show back in the day. And of course, this is all for classic poem, yada yada yada. But this version that she does, this of Halfway Down the Stairs, is just awesome. Like I don't know if you can hear the bass line in it that much, just because the trailer, everything shakes in the bass. But let's turn it up a little bit. It's just got a really cool eerie-ish to it. Her voice is just awesome. It's a great song. I recommend you go ahead and give this whole song a listen to it. It's just, for some reason, it's one of the songs I've latched onto, and basically it's in my rotation of listening to music all the time. But moving on here, I just want to give you a nice polarizing thing. I'm still listening. I mentioned before I listen to like Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj. I recently got into Drake. Drake has been doing a lot of really good songs on the radio. He's got a lot of good play. He has an album coming out. But this song is kind of the one I'm attached to the most headlines. But he also does Marvin's Room, a bunch of other songs that like She Will, which also features Lil Wayne. But I'm just letting you know, I like all types of music, mainly not really Christian music or heavy metal. But once again, Drake is another artist that I'm kind of being introduced to, and I'm like going back on his discography. Same thing I did with like Rihanna and Metric. I get into these new artists and just love listening to their music, and they have great, basically like catalogs of music, and it's just awesome to listen to. But this is just a fun, because I'm listening to radio a lot. This is just fun to go cruise around in a Jeep and listen to it. But Drake is a good artist, has a new album coming out, and I can't wait for it. Good guy. And then recently, because I eat at McDonald's all the time, this was playing along the PA system, and I'm like, oh, I remember this song, it was so good. I used to be, I still am a relatively good a Madonna fan to a point. I mean, mainly just like this came off of Real Light and Music. Those are kind of like the two real albums that I love of her the most, just because they have this nice kind of just vibe to them where she didn't go too crazy, and it's not really young Madonna, which I didn't really dig on that much. But man, Power of a Goodbye is just a great song. The whole Ray of Light album is just fantastic, and so is Music. But just thinking and just reminiscing, if this doesn't bring up memories of past loves or whatnot, man, I don't know what will. But this is just a great song. If you're just feeling nostalgic, play this Power of Love song. It's just a great, good kind of ballad. But just to kind of give you a polarizing thing of what kind of music I like listening to, it's basically almost a little bit of everything. And of course, you always throw in the anime and video game music, which I listen to all the time. But I'll play this in the background. There we go. So that's really kind of about it. Just didn't do much in the past week, but I guess I kind of did if I just kept ramming on here and you're still watching. It's over 5 minutes. But as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll be seeing some of you at the Halloween party coming up Saturday. I'll, of course, be taking pictures and probably do a video about it. So if you don't make it, you'll be seeing me ramble on about it then. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.